So, on to the next topic, which is Invictus Week. Dom, talk to us about Invictus Week.
Well, Invictus, we got a couple of new things. People are going there to check out. We got the Redeemer in the display hall, and you can pull up the slides for that, Joni. Okay, so it's there. People can walk around it. Are you able to get inside of it, or are these pictures from actually in there?
No, you can't get inside. However, if you use the F4 view, you can tweak yourself in. And so I cheated and get inside.
Okay, I think there's a shot of the interior.
That's a comparison between the Redeemer and the Retaliator. The Redeemer is actually larger than Retaliator.
Oh, wow.
Wow, I would not have expected that. I was thinking
Me neither.
I always thought it was going to be like a little bigger than, like between a Cutlass and a Connie.
Yep, me too.
Yeah, they've scaled that up.
Wow.
Yeah, big time. There's the 4 seats inside. Remember when the Redeemer first came out, it was supposed to be a drop ship with 4 seats?
Yep.
They got rid of that, and now it's back in there. And these are the 4 seats to show, indeed, it can carry 4 troops along with the crew.
But it's role primarily, I think now, as they said, it's still going to be gunship as its focus, right?
Yes, sir. So, you are correct.
So we'll see what that. I mean, who knows? I mean, there's a couple of specs listed on that, I believe. A dorsal dual turret, twin chin dual turrets, 2 fixed pilot guns, a tail turret, dual turret as well, and 8 size 2 missiles.
Yeah.
What we get in the final, I mean, we all know this is all tentative. It's whatever we get whenever they release it. So that's all just hopes right now. But it's still on the roadmap for, I think, 3/15, I believe.
Yes,
so,
yes, sir.
So end of third quarter, end of September, we hope we'll be able to finally get our hands on it and working when it's been hangar only for how many years? All these years.
But dude, those tricycle wheels, please, CIG. No.
So everybody else got it. I don't have a whole lot to say on it. It's not a ship I've been heavily invested in. Anybody got anything to say on it?
Yeah, I bought a Redeemer. I think it was the 4th ship I bought this game, and I kept it forever. The damn thing was going nowhere, so I ended up upgrading to something else. And I think I melted it and used credits to buy something else forever and forever. And now it finally came back into play, and so I went ahead and I bought again, or brought it out of my credits I could use and a buyback program. So I got it at the cheap price. I was happy about that. And I was very happy to see what came out at the expo itself. Those dual twin turrets, 2 twin turrets, chin turrets, means it can really engage targets below. Mm-hmm. And so I'm happy about that one. Now you have to man the damn thing in order to get those turrets going. There's a twin turret in the back, smaller guns, I think they're S2s. But still, you got some sort of rear firepower there going. The pilot has 2 ungibbled fixed guns of similar size, using their own, plus the missiles. And those dual turrets mean we can have a great air-to-ground vehicle with this thing going. And I don't dismiss the 4 troops. There's only 4. It's a fire team of Marines you can drop off. But I think that'll work out everybody's advantage. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm happy I rebought it. And we'll see how things go from there.
Hey, Jolly.
Yo.
How would you compare the Valkyrie and its capabilities to support troops on the ground versus the Redeemer?
I think the Redeemer is going to be better. However, I will note the Valk's carrying capability is far, far greater than the Redeemer ever will be. So I'd like to see a Redeemer and a Valk working together, one carrying the troops, one doing the support. And that'll work out well.
Yeah, I think the Valk has a lot. Firepower wise, the Valk may have more actually being able to be, brought forward. The problem with the Valkyrie is you get closer to the actual drop point, the LZ, the side turrets.
Yep.
You lose the capability of direct fire right down at the point, and that was what Jolly. I mean, that's your point. Is you have those dual turrets, and they're pointing almost. You can point them almost directly down as you're coming in. I see those 4 seats in the back, not necessarily being for a fire team, but you could use that thing for emergency extractions. SAR extractions, things of that nature.
Yep.
You're going in for maybe a private contact services. You gotta come in, and your client needs a quick exit. So that's a great ship to come in and punch a hole into something to get somebody out. So I was like you. I held off for a number of years and trying to get it, and then I got it this last annual sale because I saw what's going on. I'm still kind of on the fence about those V's on the side. I don't know what they do, or what's the purpose of that. I don't think they're VTOL. I think they're too big for that. But anyway,
They look cool.
I think just
and that's
engines.
important.
It's cool
You
factor.
lower your landing gear, they expand out, and that's your engines. You want to put the landing gear down, they retract.
Yeah, when I rolled my
it
character
looks-
charisma 10 on the Redeemer, so
Yeah, I think you're right, Turn.
So okay. Anybody else on the Redeemer? Or I guess we'll just wait and see on that.
Light it on fire and throw it out the window like the bag of turds it is.
Okay.
Jay,
well,
sorry,
the other thing.
Somebody
let's
turn
tell
his
us the
mic
truth.
back on.
Yes. First time somebody's let me talk.
Wow.
But no,
So
seriously, I think it's a flaming pile of granola.
No,
Light it on
Jay, you're
fire and
you are
throw it
wrong.
out the window.
I guess we'll find out in a couple of quarters then.
I think you're right. We will.
We also have the A2 on display as well, but the Hercules A2, which is the bomber variant of the Hercules, and it's on display in the hall, or going to be, I think.
It is. Yep.
But the interior is absent if you use the camera trick that you used. But it's basically the same ship as the other two, except it's going to have using much of its cargo space for cluster bombs and MOABs, which basically which reduces the carrying capacity of vehicles it's going to carry. I think it's like they say CIG says 2 tonks for the other two, where it's only 1 in the A2. Well, since we know reality, you can actually fit 3 tonks into a C2 or an M2.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to see if you can actually fit 2 tonks in it anyway.
But you can. No, I agree.
Yeah, and I guess we'll just there's also there's a I think there's Joni. Can you just the video link I provided should go straight to the point to where you can show. They got about 4 weeks back. They did show a teaser for what the cluster bomb module looks like that they're still working on. Comes up and just there you go, and so that's all we've really seen as far as that. Why? I mean, it's never just because the functionality doesn't exist. That hasn't stopped CIG from dropping a ship before. I mean, the Reclaimer. How long's it been out, and you still can't salvage anything? So I'm still a little confused why they couldn't have released the A2 in some form the same time the other two. But it is what it is, and
the bombs.
Well, that's going to be the big question with that. It's how are bombs going to work? There's a lot of unknown questions there. Are they going to let inertia really work? Because I got a lot of crazy ideas about using an A2 in 0G, like drifting a bomb into a station, because countermeasures are not going to work on a bomb. It's just going to drift right in. And being as it doesn't have thrusters or anything, it may even be harder to detect. So it may end up in a lot of situations be an ideal thing to hit a space target, as long as it's slow or non-moving.
Well, hopefully
Good
they'll give you
points.
some form of a CCIP or CCRP, which is basically a computer that can tell you when to release it to hit the target you want.
Yeah, I wouldn't hold my breath on that, Josh. I think that's a lot like your targeting pod.
I don't see CIG doing that.
There's
I
gonna
hear
be
they're
a
getting
lot
a lot
of
of.
bombs.
I hear they're getting a lot of Norden bomb sites from DRMO. So
I will point out the Joni, can you put those slides back up again? Redeemer slides. They didn't come through too clear. Hopefully they'll come through clearer again this time. But basically, as I said, I get the same cheat thing in order to get inside it. Not that one. That's the Redeemer. It looks awesome, in my opinion. I don't care what Jay says. The next slide.
Next slide.
There we go. Comparison, next slide. Real quick. Next slide. There we go. The 4 troop seats, we talked about that already. Next slide. All right, it's Redeemer again.
We did show
Cockpit
all
looks
these
good.
while you were talking.
Single
Ellie.
person, just so you know, no co-pilot involved in this thing. I had the same problems with a Valk, only no co-pilot. I think the co-pilot's going to pick more and more responsibilities up, which unfortunately they haven't yet. I did notice I was flying the M2 today. I could do scanning from the co-pilot seat. And if guys have checked that out yet, but you can, I'm not sure how much you want to scan from a C2 or an M2, but that's availability right there. So I think slowly CI is improving what a CP can do on a ship itself. Johnny, can you bring up the A2 slides? Thank you. Next slide. Again, these are cheats. That's the undone interior of the cargo compartment. Next slide. That is, kind of make it out. You see 2 seats out there. So we know the A2, if you want to fully man it, you have to have people in turret seats to get the whole thing's going. Like I said, it's not finished off. I see 2 obvious seats for gunners to man there. Next slide.
Some good camera work, Jolly.
All right, and finish it off. That's fine. Well, that was me cheating, like I said.
No,
but,
I know.
hey.
That's good.
I want to find out. All right. That's the A2. I'm real happy with it. I'll wait and see what's going to come of it. Like I said, it's a dog. I'll melt it to get something else.
All right.
I think people
go
were
ahead.
pretty surprised at how much SCU you could actually get into that M2 though. It came out with 100 more than what it was advertised for. I think the A2 may follow that as well.
Yeah, and so I guess we'll wait and see on that one as well.
Yep.
Comes out the same. Is it also? It's next. It's actually the end of this quarter, isn't it? The A2, or is it the end of
A2's 3.15.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
Q3
we'll see.
then.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
Just enough time to fit those 2 extra beds into it.
Yeah.
No, the one that's the big one that's everybody's talking about. Just now it's in concept sale now. It's not. It's on the roadmap for Q1 of next year. Is the RSI Scorpius, and if we can pull up those slides, it's totally not an X-wing fighter.
No, not at all.
Not at all. Well,
Lock
kind of
X bars in attack position.
Hey, in their defense, they did. And I think when they're in the stream Friday, I think they were talking and said it was like it's more halfway between a X-wing and Star Fury from Babylon 5. So because the wings are more swept back and all that. But the thing is, in fairness, how hard would it be to make a ship in any game these days, and you didn't? Somebody will say you didn't copy from somebody, or from a movie or whatever. Anyway, on that, it's a heavy fighter. And we did get some more information in a Q&A that they answered some questions people had posted in on Thursday or Friday, and I could summarize what came out of that. You have a turret. The big deal about it is it has a turret that moves up and down from the bottom to the top of the craft, and it has 4 size 3 repeaters on it, and it's controlled by a co-pilot. And its configuration, in the configuration, if it came out today, the pilot would not control those at all because we don't have a blade. The only way a pilot's going to control the turret is if they install what they call a blade, which is an AI to control it. Or actually, they describe it saying it actually is going to lock it forward, so it's probably going to be slave to wherever the pilot's main guns are pointed. Which the pilot's guns are 4 size 2 gimbaled, which they haven't said otherwise. If it's going to be like other ships, you hopefully should be able to swap those out for 4 size 3s. But it may be because of the configuration of the ship with how those wings fold back that maybe they say they have to be gimbaled. We don't know. And has 8 size 2 missiles. A little bit disappointing. They said that it's flight style and range is similar to a Hurricane, as well as the armor is similar to a Hurricane. And what have they always said about the Hurricane? It's a glass cannon. So it's another freaking glass cannon is what we have here. If you're able to trade up the weapons, you have a glass cannon that has the same firepower as a saber. So why not just fly a saber that's more maneuverable? But I mean, who knows? Maybe something will change between now and Q1 of next year, and a lot of things can change between now and then. I mean, a lot of craft have significantly changed their loadouts leading up to the point that they're actually released. Thoughts?
Yeah, I bought a Scorpius to check it out. Now, when it comes out, I'll test fly it the whole 9 yards. I don't think it's a good buy at this point. I don't mind buying it because I always melt it and use the credits for something else. But the concept, especially if the blades come into play, of 8 S3 guns on a nimble fighter are a hell of a draw. And that's the reason why I probably, even though it may come out nerfed, I may keep it anyways and just sit in the background, or maybe melt it, buy it back later, to try the thing out, because I think this fighter, they call it a heavy. I don't agree. I think it's a medium, not a heavy fighter. I think this fighter may prove very beneficial in the future if the game develops to the point that a solo pilot can use all 8 of those guns. There's no way how I'm going to do them gimbaled. I'd rather have 8 S3s than anything else.
For me, I'm always trying to fit other ships in my bigger ship. So an 890 and a Polaris. They've confirmed that this will fit in a Polaris. I assume that means they'll fit in an 890. And for that reason, it's on my list of consideration. But other than that, outside of using it as a force multiplier for one of my bigger ships for something, on its own, I don't have a lot of interest. So I'm going to evaluate that, but I do think it's interesting for the largest probably fighter you're going to fit in those type of ships.
I'm going to be honest, when you look at the small footprint, when it's all folded up, I really think that it's going to be an Idris fighter. It's going to be something, because you could store 3 fighters on there, and it looks like they'll fit in there compared to the other fighters they've said will be there. So, I mean, this is a big, heavy glass cannon, for lack of a better term, that you will be able to be parked on ships. I think it's really exciting from that perspective. You can't get a Hercules. Yep.
I'm gonna throw the other side, because I'm giving it a
go
pass.
ahead.
I'm giving it a pass, and the reason I'm giving it a pass is, if I got to take 2 people for 1 fighter, why can't I just take 2 fighters? 1 single seat fighters.
Well, but you're assuming that you don't have the blade in, and you don't have the weapon slaved.
But okay, so you get the weapons blade, the blade in. So I think that defeats the purpose for what CIG is building it for, which is a multi-crew ship.
But it gives you a lot of firepower.
Okay, but why is it more firepower than two Anvil Hornets?
Yeah, but I don't think I can fit 2 Hornets into a Polaris.
Well, we know about you. We know about you trying to fit stuff into various things. Okay, Josh, we got that. Okay, but what I'm saying is, at this point in time, I mean, you've got the Hurricane already, and I think the Hurricane is a good ship. I mean, armor needs to be released, etc. I'm just not sold on the Scorpius, because at this point in time, I could take 2 Hornets and get more firepower, I think, than the 1 Scorpius. And I don't know. It's just, maybe if it's a ship launch fighter, okay, but now you're talking about physical deck space inside that ship. Can you put 2 medium fighters in that one spot versus the Scorpius? I don't know. And so for now, I'm giving it a pass.
Well, and I understand that. There's nothing wrong with giving it a pass. I'm just saying it's interesting from it's a very heavy fighter that you're going to be able to potentially put on Idrises and Javelins and Polarises and things like that, compared to the other alternatives.
But to me, I don't know. Maybe is there a move by CIG that every manufacturer has to release a ship that fits into every category or something? I mean,
No, I don't think so.
you've already got the Hurricane that's released with this. In some cases, you've got the Gladiator that's, it's got a little bit. I know that's a fighter bomber, but it's got the turret up top, etc. I think it does give the Vanguard series a run for its money from a pure firepower standpoint and functionality with the turret. But I just don't see what RSI is doing building this type of ship. That's all.
Well, I will say this from our Fighter Mafia tactics and from the concept of using this in another ship, I don't think you can fit two stealth fighters in there. I don't think there's enough room. So if you ask me, yes, I'd rather take two ships that have decent firepower and 4 guns on 2 ships than 1 gun or 1 ship with 8 guns. But if my option is I can only fit one of those ships, I'm going to take the Scorpius, I think, in that case.
It's the alpha damage. It's how much you can do right away.
Yeah, I mean, the Polaris, for example, that's designed to fit what the Gladius, I think, is what the Polaris was looking at as far as its escort fighter.
Well,
this may be the same size. You're probably going to be better off seeing this as a Polaris escort. I could see that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. Is where you, a place where you can't stick a Harbinger or a Sentinel. This may be a great glass cannon to toss as an option. It's not that it's the greatest design on the earth. I'm just saying there may be cases where it makes sense.
Right. And I forgot to mention that they did say it does in fact fit in a Polaris.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, and we don't really know. We say glass cannon because we say glass cannon now because that's what is happening within the game. But when armor comes out,
armor.
Yeah, we need to kind of always put that in as a caveat that we really don't know.
Armor and specifically penetration is
I think they would have been better served with a 1 size 2 shield versus 2 size 1s. I think that would have gone a long way toward making it a little bit more competitive, so to speak. But the same thing happens with the Hurricane too. They don't have that.
When they come out with an armor, we need to reevaluate all ships, not just this one. Every single one of them.
Yep.
And we're waiting to see. Like I said, I've held on to my Heartbreaker Super World Cup with armor, and it'll be worthwhile. The reason why I kept on to it. And you're absolutely right, Turin. I can't speak. And Josh, your point on number I can fit into a carrying ship, you're right. I agree. To be honest, I'm not looking at that so much as the ability of the damn thing to fight. I'll wait and see on the Scorpius to see if it's going to be worthwhile or not. And the reality is you got to get the damn thing, fly it around, pass it around to other people to fly around, and get multiple views of the damn thing. I actually still look forward to this one. I think it may work out in the end. Wait and see. But hey, look, what's the Gladius go for? $95?
85, I think.
85.
Yeah, you can buy 2 of them
as opposed to
for the
200
price.
for
I'm in complete agreement.
How much is a Hurricane? And once you have a blade, it's the same situation. You can lock the turret on the Hurricane for it.
Yeah. But
we're just going to have to wait and see.
I really want to see maneuverability of the darn thing. 4 wings, let's see how that works out. And maybe it's a great maneuverable aircraft. I'm thinking like a beefed up Arrow type of fighter. Don't know yet.
Yeah, I mean, the style on it looks great, but to me, the ship just screams needs multiple balance passes. There's going to be the first one with armor. There's probably going to be 3 or 4 after that. I doubt we're going to see 8 size 3s on it in its final iteration. I just don't think that's happening.
Hurricane is 195 now. 195 for the Hurricane.
Okay.
So it's comparable.
$5 more.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
I don't know. It's an interesting thing. You could definitely, if you have a second gunner, shoot things that are chasing you. So that's kind of interesting. It's an interesting design. I don't think I'm going to completely poo-poo it. Let's see how it goes. I definitely like the idea of it over a over a Vanguard series fighter, in my opinion. But that's just
nope.
me because it's.
Nope.
I know you love the Vanguards. I know,
Harbinger.
but the Harbinger,
There's
yeah.
rules.
But any of them,
I think I think the Vanguards are designed to be long range fighters to be able to go out and track long range. These, I think, Jay, I think you kind of hit
range.
it. I think you kind of hit it though. I think these might be ones that are carrier based in some fashion.
Right.
Yeah,
and
that's
size
the
1 quantum
advantage.
drive. Yeah.
Yeah, the big advantage I see with these is that you are going to be able to fit them on another ship like a Idris, and they may occupy a niche area there that is different than some of the other ships out there. That's all I'm saying. We'll have to wait and see. I do like the idea that go ahead. I'm sorry.
Frack was bringing up a point. Can't blade man turrets, only NPC crew it, but we don't really know in the future. I mean, I that may be what is there now, but I think
they explicitly said that you would be able to blade this.
I think
yes, they did.
I think when the segment that had John Crew on it the other day, I think they mentioned blades for it, but I don't know.
I know the Hurricane is supposed to be a man turret.
Yeah,
so that may be what
that's the question about. But thing is, that's what CIG says now. I mean,
Yep.
How long ago was it that the size of a ship determined how fast it went in quantum? They can change the rules whenever they feel like.
Yeah, and the Scorpius it's actually a remote turret. So the guy's just sitting in a seat, with going through the computer, so to speak.
It's not a man turret.
So it's not, to me, technically a man turret. It's a remote turret. So
correct. Okay. And then I had one other conversation starter for us to talk about before we call it a night, and that is Free Fly Weekend, or Free Fly Week Plus. What are your guys' thoughts on what this does for the environment and, all of that stuff? Do you think it's good for them to do these big, massive free fly weekends on Invictus? Or does it just cause trouble for paying customers? So, Ollie, what are your thoughts?
It's a good point.
I can speak on that a little bit. It's good in theory, but what inevitably happens is, I will say that provided you're able to run it, it's been remarkably stable. Previous Invictuses, other events we've had, because of the influx of people during a free fly, and invariably you would get unstable servers, frequent crashing. They seem to have largely solved that, but maybe they solved it because so many people can't run it because it's taking too darn much RAM right now. So it's a good in theory, but if a lot of your people who are joining in, I got a friend who was looking to possibly get into the free fly, but she has 16 gigs of RAM, and I'm telling her, don't bother for now. Wait until after the free fly if you want to check it out. Because it's just not playable for her, and it will not be an enjoyable situation.
I will say this: they're signing up 400 or 500 accounts an hour, is what rumor has. So there's still a lot of people signing up for accounts to do the free fly. A lot, thousands over the week, tens of thousands.
But the problem is, how many of those people are going to be happy with what they see?
Well,
and how many of those are
that's
actually
my concern as well. Jolly, what are your thoughts?
Jolly's muted.
You're muted again, Jolly.
So you hear me coughing.
Oh, sorry.
I have to agree with what Gnome said. In fact, I was talking to a couple of guys who were doing the op today, which is BSing before it happened. And he said last Invictus, he finally convinced a friend to join in and try SC out, and it was a complete disaster. The guy, he hasn't been able to bring him back yet. And I'd rather see these free flights happening at a point in time when the game is extremely stable and nothing else is going on. We don't have to worry about extra ships and fireworks and crap like that. Let's just let people play the game itself. So the concept of free fly is good, but their timing is not good, because even those of us with high-end systems who've been playing the game forever are used to bugs that crash at 30Ks. It's irritating. If you're a brand new player, I think it would really work against you. So what Gnome said is right. I like the idea of free fly, but not during these type of events.
Yeah.
Personally, I wish they would do some type of demo period where if you're a new player, maybe you get a week or a month, you can fly any ship you want during that month, get a feel for the game anytime when it's usually running better. And, if you have that friend, which I've been in that case, and you want to bring him in, they can get a real feel for it and decide if it's for them or not.
I completely agree. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts, Sohawk?
The free fly is a good idea, but the problem is with like a lot of other things in Star Citizen, they have a good concept, and then they just try and push it to be bigger and bigger, tying it to things like Invictus, where most of us who've been playing expect the problems. New patch jumps out with a new event. We know there's going to be issues. New players coming in. It's a recipe for a bad experience.
I agree. I completely agree. Nam, you were holding up a sign there. Do you want to try that one more time so I can make fun of you?
Mektor said something in the chat.
Oh,
So I
okay.
thought I'd reply to him.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I know that I want to thank everybody. We had a 4th segment planned, but we're over on time. And I know we had a lot of technical problems this evening, and I want to apologize. We will hopefully get those worked out. I just want to go, I'm sorry? Before next week. Yep, we're going to talk about that at the end. But Jolly, any final thoughts for this evening? Or anything you want to
Good
make?
show. Glad to have it happen. I'll see you guys next Saturday.
Yes, I think there's a lot of us that are looking for video cards right now, Jolly. Turing, anything in your closing thoughts?
No.
No. You look so unhappy. Are you ready to be out of here? Are you so frustrated with the rest of us that you want to just quit?
No, I'm not frustrated. I just, I might need to go get something to drink. I just,
Like hard
I'll send you
alcohol?
some booze.
no.
Nam, what about you?
I got a bottle of Woodford if you want some. It's been a lot of fun. I'm glad to talk about the things we're doing here, and that's pretty much that's it. Happy to be here.
Okay. And Josh, I think you have an announcement for in June that I haven't even told all the co-hosts about. So you
Yeah.
want to go ahead and tell us about that?
So for those of you out there that just can't get enough of me, on June 12th, we're going to have a very special episode of HangarReady. We're going to bring all the Fighter Mafia guys in. We're going to be discussing things about what it's like to go from being a solo pilot to trying to work together and a bunch of stuff in between.
The bomber guys disagree.
So
Very much
so
so.
the logistics, you can't fly without fuel, so that's all.
Friggin'
So-
fighter mafia.
But we will be doing a special episode of HangarReady that I'm not on. Josh is going to be the host and is going to bring on a bunch of guys from Europe. Going to be during the daytime. And it'll be good. It'll expand the number of shows.
2:00.
That should be interesting.
It will be. So, Hawk, anything that you'd like to add?
No, just happy to be here. Thanks for having me on. It was fun.
Great. It's not quite as bad as you as you thought, is it?
No,
Other
not
than
at all.
all the technical problems.
I mean, we're
So-
2 for 2 on technical problems with you and me on a stream, Jay. So
Yes, I know. It happens. It's one of those things. There's nothing, you just can't control it some days. So with that said, we're going to be back. It's Invictus week. We want to do a recap. We're going to have a bunch of video at the end of the week. So 1 week from tonight, same time, 8 p.m., we're going to be doing a big show, kind of recapping the week, talking about the things that we saw and what we liked and what we didn't like. And hopefully we will have murdered all of the little technical gremlins before then. So that will be next Saturday, the 29th at 8 p.m. Central Time. Also, guys, just a quick reminder. I know we've had some technical difficulties here. We have the show recorded locally, so we'll edit that up and it will be up by lunch on Monday. That would be Monday the 24th. So we'll have that up. I apologize for our technical glitches. we're just trying to expand and get ready for CitizenCon, and that's required us to do some stuff that where we're having some technical problems. So I appreciate it, and I think I know what we're going to do, which is probably switch which Twitch host we're streaming to. Instead of Atlanta, we'll go to Chicago. So it looks like the stream crashed. Oh, back. Okay,
Yeah.
never mind. Let's go back to the roundtable here, guys. I'm sorry about this, guys. I'm having a little bit of packet loss, it looks like, to Twitch. So this is just one of those things that happens when you're live streaming, right? You can't control it.
Nope.
So I really appreciate you guys bearing with us with the technical glitch. I know that you guys, I was over on the computer trying to fix it, and you guys were just rolling in the floor over here, holding up signs and driving people absolutely batshit crazy. So I really appreciate you keeping everybody entertained while I was working on the technical problems. Again, from the control room here, I'd like to say thank you to my beautiful bride of more than 20 years, Jaglin, if she switches over to herself. And our technical director, Sam. And
Hey,
he's
Sam.
been over here providing you with all the cool little slides and everything that the guys are talking about. And we're going to be doing even more next week. So with that said, anybody have anything they want to?
Yeah, I do.
Go
real
ahead,
quick.
Jolly.
Guys, great job on the slides, the videos. They all worked out fantastic. I was concerned about that. Thank you very much for having it happen. I'm sorry about the tech glitches, Jay. Keep in mind, segment 4, the Nova tank. We can add that into next week. That's nice. Please, I'm begging you guys, put stuff into the script. Jay, I'm asking you, please, on Monday or Tuesday, put a script up for us to fill in and just figure out what the hell to fill next Saturday's.
I completely agree. I will
Yeah.
have the script up before we go to bed tonight. So,
Alrighty.
now that he has shamed
Excellent.
me in public.
Yeah, I just told everybody that. I mean, oh my
Don't tell him
God.
how the sausage is made.
Hey, Jolie, we're revoking your driver's license. Your bus driver's license.
So we're definitely having technical glitches here, guys, and I apologize. Anyhow, everyone have an absolutely wonderful week, and we will see you next Saturday in the verse.
You'll see me before that. Take care, guys.
Ciao.